Hello, everybody. I am Frank Data Di Lorenzo. Thrilled to be here with you today for our weekly Thursday morning at 8 o'clock Pacific um, Quick Launch Live, where we talk about all things data. We take 15 minutes and talk about different topics, have different guests join to give you some ideas on how to get your arms around your data. That's really what this is about. There's no way we can cover everything in 15 minutes or even scratch the surface on most topics. So please put questions in the comments if you have any. Let us know you're here. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, mystery LinkedIn user. Glad to have you with us. Yeah, questions in the chat would be great. Keep in mind, if you go to the company page, Preferred Strategies in LinkedIn, all these recordings are out there for your use to watch whenever on demand. The only thing I ask politely is if you watch it, maybe throw a 2 in there so we know that these are getting some good views and are helpful. And if you have suggestions to make these more helpful, please, I'm all ears. So I'm real excited today because we have a guest who is a friend, a colleague, a former team member of Preferred Strategies, but now working consulting on his own, all around data. He has been in the trenches. He has seen almost everything. I thought it'd be wonderful if he could come online with us and share some of his stories, share some tips and tricks, pitfalls to avoid, anything that might be helpful. So, without further ado, folks, it's my pleasure to bring on Mr. Joe DiPietro. I could say Joe Data D. How you doing, Joe?
Hey, Frank, thanks a lot for having me. Doing really well. Doing really well.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I'm glad you're here. I mean, 15 minutes, I know it goes by quickly. I know you got a wealth of experience. So, just for the folks out there, when I joined Preferred Strategies, Joe had already been there a few years and was really instrumental in helping me learn the ropes. And so I got to thinking, with everything that I've learned from Joe, maybe he could come on and help the folks out in Quick Launch Live land. So,
Yeah.
Joe, to that end,
Yeah.
I know we've talked a little bit, but you've worked with some pretty large JDE companies over the years, specifically around installing a Power BI solution, our data model. What stories resonate with you or come to mind that you think would be of value for the audience to hear? To hear?
Yeah. Wow. Thanks. That's a big question. I'll try to wrap it up as quick as I can, as succinct as I can. But you're right. I worked with myself and our team have worked with lots of people. Some of the customers are Chevron and Innofoss and Wizpack come to mind. And basically, all these customers had some gargantuan problems, whether it was too much data, years of data. So they had a combination of challenges. One was all this data and trying to become audit compliant and keep up with the local kind of laws and guidance. So I've helped them a lot with managing that data with a solution called Arc Tools. That helps to slim down the data, helps to save on costs because a lot of our customers are going to the cloud, whether it's Azure or OCI. There's some form of cloud, and that's a pay as you play thing. So you want to manage that spend there. But more importantly, in my years with QuickLaunch, I've noticed that there was a pattern, right? A lot of the customers have the same challenge. We need to see the data. We need to see it in a usable format. We need a all-in-one solution. Oh, and by the way, I want to leverage some of my existing licenses, i.e. Microsoft Office 365 with Microsoft Power BI. So basically, a lot of those same questions came up from C-levels and users and field users was, I just need to see my data where I am, whether it's mobile, whether it's on my screen. I need to solve some root causes. Why is this number off? Why is this report off? I need one source of the truth. And the other couple of things were, time to value. Oh, we've been writing our own solution for 5 years now. And as they do that, technology changes. So the simple answer to all of my customers, it has been QuickLaunch. Why? Well, because it's a single solution. Everything's provided by Preferred Strategies. We don't sell you the Power BI, but we have all the ETLs, all the training, all the mapped fields, so your users can be up and running in a blistering 10 weeks, which is unheard of.
Yeah. Yep, that's absolutely right. And Joe, do you have any? You make some really good points there. One that I took away was people that need to adhere to certain compliance regulations. Gets really tricky to do that if you can't manage or govern your data. So
Right.
that was a good takeaway.
Yep.
Can you think of any specific, and I'm just curious, specific examples with clients where they had that wow factor? You know, the before and then their experience after and what you witnessed?
Absolutely. So everybody we know, because we're talking to users, the C-level, and everybody in between, we know everybody's really wants this type of technology. They really want this magic bullet, let's call it. So we know we can deliver it as a single solution. What comes to my mind, or a customer that comes to my mind that resonates every day, is Bill Sandblom from a company called IGI Wax. So they're running JD Edwards as their core ERP. That's what started the conversation. But what the really exciting part of this project is that's simple for us to solve. We've got that methodology, we've got the all that built out, but they had some other applications. One was called, that comes to my mind, is called Pi. It was an application where it was monitoring their oil well usage, oil volume. Now, IGI Wax, very quickly, 80% of the oil they pump out of the ground, they own about 15 wells. 80% or 75% of that oil is turned into wax. They're the largest wax provider, and one of their largest customers is Yankee Candle. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, they were struggling with all the numbers that came out of Pi. You have to get the recipe correct in order to yield the right amount of wax. I won't go into those boring details, but it couldn't be done manually. So they fed that application, working with the preferred team, they fed that application into our model. We were able to then figure out quickly the heat levels and some other magic levels. Mm-hmm. Long story short, in a very short period of time, Bill Sandblom is realizing $50 million of hidden revenue per well. If that doesn't get somebody excited to take a QuickLaunch, to take a visualization, a BI project from it's nice to have, yes, into a have, I don't know what will. And so that one story alone keeps me motivated.
Get you the goosebumps. And you bring up another good point. I think this was from Bill, and I learned it from you, so correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it Bill that said, we kept waiting to clean up our data before we had any BI initiative in place. But I think what he realized was they could never get the data really cleaned up till they knew where to look. And so start sooner, because that's a part of the process. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, so as you know, a lot of customers have been on JD Edwards. You'll hear 10 years, 15 years, 30 years. It's a legacy ERP, right? It's been running their systems, and it just chugs along. But there's a lot of common kind of objections or misnomers in that. Yes, I need to have clean data. I need to have less data. With us, why wait? We layer our QuickLaunch over your data, so now it really puts a crystal ball around your data, so you can use what we need to use the fields that we need to map over, because that's already delivered out of the box. So once we had that conversation and we loaded it up, Shazam, he had these amazing results with their JD Edwards financials, and then of course the Pi. So his message to us is don't wait. You've already waited long enough.
Yeah, Joe, I put that under the category what you just mentioned earlier. Is this a luxury or a priority? For a lot of companies, we need to upgrade our servers. We need to, we're bringing on a new person in IT. Whatever the case, a project like this can get lost in priorities. And in listening to Bill, and I think it was Alex at AltaGas, was that the other gentleman?
It was, right. So not only working with Bill, working with AltaGas, working with Innofos, WizPack, and many others. Yeah. Once we went live, they really did sit back and reflect that. Why wait? There's in 10 weeks, it's unheard of for a visualization solution to be up and running, in the hands, with full training, full support, a full team to help with your success. So all of these C-level customers have shared with us afterwards, don't wait. It really is a single source solution. It really is quick ROI. And it's gone in their category from it's a nice have, it's a luxury, to really a must have. And I think that's resonated more and more today because of, a lot of people are maybe aging out. Some of these systems like a AS400, they're losing resources. So we're going to take your data and modernize it with Power BI, with Azure, and really simplify seeing your data and seeing your KPIs.
Yeah, no, and taking a step back just for everybody out there, when Joe's referring to preferred strategies, we have our data model, QuickLaunch, which is a Power BI premium data model that transforms your data for JD Edwards, NetSuite, Viewpoint Vista. Those are solutions we have pre-built. However, the concepts that we relay on these broadcasts really are meant to apply to anybody. So if you're an SAP or Oracle or something else, what potential do you need to build a data model? Is there somewhere you can go buy one? If you're on JD Edwards or Viewpoint Vista or NetSuite, we happen to have a great solution. But if you're on other systems, the tips and tricks and concepts we're discussing, I think, are still very applicable. But you need to look at what resources you might have in that ecosystem. Like I said, SAP, Dynamics, whatever it might be. Would you agree, Joe? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. It's one of the key things that comes to me is that people are questioning, okay, we have too much data, we have bad data. We've been doing on Edwards or ERP for, umpteen years. But the other side of the coin is, hey, I've got limited resources. We've got a laundry list of projects that we need to get, to accomplish.
Yeah.
But the way these customers ended up saying is that a quick launch project can be run in parallel because it's
too. Yep.
It's not 10 weeks day in, day out. It's kind of over a period of time. So again, it's something that can be done behind the scenes, and 10 weeks goes in a snap, and you don't need the resources because Quick Preferred Strategies has that bench, has that resource, has that knowledge.
Appreciate that, Joe. Good points. And as I said, 15 minutes goes quickly. So with the few minutes we have left, I want to ask of you, Joe, are there other suggestions? If somebody's struggling with their data, if they're living in, we call it Excel hell, if you will, manual Excel, what recommendations would you give them to maybe get started or to even think of? Where do they turn?
I think it all starts with a conversation, right? If you have an open conversation with, let's just say you and I, Frank, and the customer is transparent on, what are they trying to achieve? What are they doing today? Where do they want to be tomorrow? Why do they want to be there? So once they understand that, why they want to be there, and then we help them to uncover some of the return on investment, it'll be a huge, successful project from all users, from executives to your technical resources. And Frank and I, we've got all the information to help you as a customer get there, whether it's ARC tools to clean up and remove some of that older historical data the right way, to QuickLaunch, which again, it's out of the box 10-week delivery. So it all starts with a conversation because everyone's journey, everyone's challenges there's a lot of unique and similarities, but there's also some uniqueness.
Yeah, Joe, good points. Now, ARC Tools, just for everybody out there to clarify, that is a solution dedicated to the JD Edwards community?
It is, yes.
Okay. Just don't want to get anybody's hopes up if they're on SAP that they can use.
Yeah, so ARC Tools is another best of breed solution. We've got basically all the rules figured out to purge and archive your data, whether you're on World E1, whether you're on Oracle SQL or DB2, it doesn't matter. We can support you.
Yeah, Joe, the last thing, in thinking about this, that where, value can truly be attained, I think, is meeting a company, understanding what their pains are. Where are they struggling? Is it their supply chain based on their, manufacturing or distribution needs? If they're a contractor, is it forecasting and WIP reporting? Each company, certainly in each industry, typically will have some pretty, important reporting, dashboarding, insight type needs. I love to uncover those so they can start to visually see the impact of going through this kind of exercise. And the only other thing I like to remind folks, 80%, I believe it is. I'll have to look this up. It's 80 or 87, I think, percent of these projects fail, believe it or not, when someone says we're putting in a BI solution or they're going to build one on their own. And, in our case, not to sound braggart or anything, but our success rate's over 97%. And it's a simple reason. We know we're doing it's all we do. But I mention that to folks so that they can understand some of the complexities of doing a project like this, and working with somebody that is dedicated to it can really be a big benefit. So,
yeah, 100%. I talked to some people the other day, and they have to get a piece here, a piece there, wait for this, wait for that. There's too many resources in the pool. And what happens is it becomes complicated, it comes extended, and the people are looking for, for results.
Joe, we are over by a minute, so I always promise to cut these off. One question: Arc Tools, is that right? Is it one word or two?
One word.
Arc Tools, one word.
All one word.
Okay. I try to type it in the comments, but actually I'm not allowed to do that. Kind of funny. All right. Well, listen, Joe, I don't know if you noticed how I changed your name. I mess with you in some way, shape, or form.
That's awesome.
You're an East Coast guy, so I called you Joey Data today.
That's fine.
But sincerely, everybody, I want to thank Joe for taking the time to pop on the broadcast with us. If we have more things to discuss, we may be fortunate enough to get him to come back. And again, in the meantime, if you have any questions, anything about your data, reach out to anyone at Preferred Strategies, Joe, myself. We're all eager to help and have, at least as Joe said, a conversation with you. So do reach out, and really appreciate you being with us today. Joe, I owe you one as always. I can't thank you enough.
No worries. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, everybody, for attending.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.